The Phillies make a very good first impression as they open up their series against the Braves. It's a 2-0 win. Obviously, the number one takeaway from the game was Bryce Harper getting dinged early in this one. Spencer Strider apparently, allegedly, claims to have lost control of a pitch. And I'll tell you what, even though I don't necessarily have to give him credit, not that I necessarily have to give him the benefit of the doubt, I will say that it probably makes some sense that he didn't intentionally hit Harper. However, maybe he did. So first we're going to go over to Spencer Strider, who again rocks a really impressive mustache. And as a fellow mustache guy, although the beard keeps growing in way too fast, we're gonna hear him out. Let's try to hear out Spencer Strider a little bit here. And let's hear what it was exactly that he thought he was going for and that he thought happened in that moment. Again, Harper gets hit with a pitch, and it hurts. All right, let's go over to Spencer Strider real quick.
Spencer? Hey, Spencer, what do you have to say for yourself, fella? Huh? What you got to say?
Yeah, that's great news. Certainly not trying to hit him.
I got to pause. Now, I know that when I did the Mitch Marner video not that long ago, like a week or 2 weeks ago, and I critiqued that his hair was very floofy, and I said that, if he's busting his ass in a playoff game, he's probably going to be sweatier than that. I am going to note there's a violation here on the stash. I'm actually going to scrub this video back a little bit as somebody who often sports a mustache. There is a problem here. And listen, Spencer Strider might be really self-conscious about it. And if he is, and he somehow finds this, sorry. But we have a legit situation here. I don't know if you can see this. There's lip here. It looks like he tried to line up the mustache, and it got a little bit off kilter. You can see it there. The mustache is cut a little bit shorter into the middle, and then you got this hanging Chad over here on the left side of his face, which creates a distorted view of the mustache. And then even when you come in, you can see the hanging Chad is here, and it looks like it goes back up here. So you got to hit that spot. You got to make it. You got to do everything you can to try to make it a symmetrical mustache. If you're going to just rock the mustache, also has a lopsided soul patch going on here. So can we trust him? I'm not so sure. All right, let's go back to him. So he was told that Harper, not seriously hurt. There's no break. All right, let's keep going.
Yeah, that's great news. Certainly not trying to hit him. Yeah, I thought in the moment, I just assumed he had a guard on and, was just pissed that I hit him and then saw him in pain, and that was tough. So I'm definitely relieved that he's okay. And
well, I'm glad that he's relieved.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of the best players, this century. So needs to be on the field.
Sure.
It's best for the game.
Ouch.
And it's good for us.
So here's a question that I have, though. So if we come back to here, right? Can I ask a really basic question? Why isn't he wearing a guard on the elbow? Like, am I crazy for asking? Because, listen, Bryce Harper has had some injuries in recent years. To me, if you're the most important player on the team, if you're the highest paid guy on the team, I know that baseball players are weird. Baseball players are superstitious. I get it. He should have a guard on his arm. He should have a guard in that elbow area. I don't know what we're doing here. So, Strider's saying, I thought he was wearing a guard, and so I was shocked, when he went down and he was hurt. I mean, I don't blame him. I mean, it's 2025. Barry Bonds back in the day used to wear, remember the giant elbow pad that Barry Bonds used to wear? He almost looked like he had an entire mechanical arm. He looked like he ripped off Optimus Prime's arm and wrapped it around his own, right? He had that gigantic thing that would jut out of his elbow. Why doesn't Bryce Harper have an elbow pad of any kind, a protector of any kind? What? Why? Is there a reason for it? How do you not have a brace? And by the way, if you're the Phillies, isn't this part of protecting the investment of the player? Isn't this part of hey, Bryce, you got to wear an elbow pad. I don't want to. I can't hit with it. Tough shit. We can't lose you. And I will also point out the fact that Bryce Harper, we've been having this conversation about there were some slow parts to the season, but it did kind of feel like maybe things were kind of turning a corner for him a little bit. If you're being realistic about it, his batting average is the highest of any month in the month of May. He's hitting 308. Last month was dreadful. He had 223. So he's back up. It's been his best month statistically to this point. He's had more hits this month than he did last month, at least, right? He has more extra base hits, has more doubles. He has one fewer home run, but he has more RBI. He's walked a little bit less. he's had an overall better May than he did April. And now you're potentially looking at losing him for a time. Now, again, it was reported after the game that he had a scan. There was no break found. It's just a contusion, which is good news. But when he's your most important player, and it's an area that should be an avoidable area, an area that you should be able to protect yourself, and that so many players do protect themselves, I'm surprised that he didn't wear anything there. I don't know. I haven't gone back and I can't dive into it in my brain of all of the at-bats Bryce Harper's had over the years, but I feel like at some point he's worn a protection on his elbow. I could be wrong. And if he hasn't, certainly should think of it now. It's not like it was a freak thing. This isn't like a freak, the ball hit off his bat the wrong way, ricocheted up and broke his nose. You can't do anything about that. But it's a very easily protectable area and one that a lot of players do protect. Why is Bryce Harper not doing that? Okay. So Spencer Strider comes out and he says, I didn't mean to hit him. I'm glad that he's okay. So that's lovely. Good for Spencer Strider. However, if you recall, the thought after that was, well, then somebody's got to get beaned. You've got to go back and you have to get revenge for Bryce Harper. Your best player just got knocked out of the game, and at that point, obviously, there hadn't been a scan done, so you had no idea how hurt Harper actually was. And so then you go, all right, should they have gone after Acuna? Should they have gone after anybody on the Braves? Do you send a message? The answer is, yeah, of course you do. The Phillies did not. Now, there have been some who have made the argument, well, it's a close game. It's a division rival. These games matter. You can't run the risk of putting a guy on base who can ultimately score, or what if the next batter comes up and hits a home run and it flips the game on its head? Now you're losing, and it was just, it's petty. I'm sorry. That doesn't hold water with me.